Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the Western Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We have a great lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening, but before I turn it over to them, I do have a couple of housekeeping items. My name's Courtney and I am going to be your facilitator this evening. So first off, your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is a webinar. We know that you're going to have questions though, and so that's where you can use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. It's most helpful if you type the college or university that you're directing your question to, and then also include your question. That means our panelists will be able to answer a little bit more effectively. So list the name of the college and then also your question that you're asking. This is a really fun way to learn about lots of colleges and institutions. So I hope that you have fun and I hope that you'll sign up for more sessions because there are more sessions even this evening. This is being recorded and so it will be available for playback along with all the other sessions that are happening tonight. So the recording will be available at strivescan.com/WACAC. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter. I have the opportunity to introduce to you the University of San Diego. Connor, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much. And thanks for everyone for joining us here tonight. My name is Connor Dowling from the University of San Diego. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. I hope you all can see that. So as I said, I'm from the University of San Diego, and I'm here to talk about envisioning your horizon at USD. This is a picture of our campus. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's the same one I use as my background. So who are we? Well, we are a mid-sized liberal arts university. We are ranked actually as the #6 most beautiful campus in the nation. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit bitter about that because we were just the top 5. But we just opened up a brand new student success center, a brand new library, and we're finishing up renovations on our business center this year. So pretty confident we'll get back in the top 5. Some stats for you. We have about 5,500 undergraduate students. 48% come from outside of California from 47 home states. 7% of our students are international from over 50 home countries. 41% identify as students of color and 40% identify as Catholic. So we are a Catholic institution. But you certainly do not need to be Catholic to attend USD. We are fully welcoming of all faith backgrounds or no faith background. Now, we are a liberal arts university. So we have 3 colleges within our university: the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Business, and the School of Engineering. You can see over there some of our most popular majors, but there's 41 for you to choose from. All of our students enter undeclared, and then you can declare a major anytime between day 1 or the end of your sophomore year. So you have 2 years to decide. We do have a core curriculum. So if you don't know exactly what you want to study, that's perfectly fine. That's what that's designed for. You're going to take classes in a variety of subjects and see what interests you and see what you excel at and go from there. None of our majors are impacted. So once you're admitted to USD, you can choose any major that we offer. We have an average class size of 21. You'll actually never have a class with more than 46 students. So that's a big part of our educational philosophy. You know, you're going to know your professors. They're going to know you by name. They all have office hours. So if you need extra one-on-one time with them, it's very easy to get a hold of them. Now, our application process. We have one deadline. It is December 15th. We do not have early action or early decision. Some stats from fall 2021's incoming class. We had over 14,300 applicants with a 52% acceptance rate, and we just welcomed 1,170 entering first-year students. They just started classes last Wednesday, and we are very excited to have them back. What are the requirements? Well, we are on the Common App, which is one application you can submit to a number of schools. We do have some specific USD questions. We require official transcripts, at least 1 academic letter of recommendation. You can submit up to 3 letters. For international students, there is a language requirement. There is an application fee of $55, but if that is a burden or a deterrent from applying, please contact us. We can offer a limited number of fee waivers. We don't want that to be the reason that you do not apply. And then finally, USD is a test-free university, so we do not look at SAT or ACT test scores. What do we look at? Well, we do what's called holistic review. So your academic achievements, of course, they are important, but it's just as important to us who you are outside of the classroom. So we're going to be looking for your change maker qualities and your personal qualities. The change maker qualities that we're looking for are leadership, global perspective, social justice, role of faith, and community engagement. So for me as an admissions counselor, when I'm reading through your application, those are really the main things that I'm looking for. So if those are things that you are particularly interested in, I would definitely recommend you take a closer look at USD because you're probably the exact type of student that we want to welcome into campus. And then of course, all your other personal qualities are very important. So we do look at the letters of recommendation and your essays. So definitely take your time on those essays because they do play a part in the admissions decision. And then finally, these are just all the ways to stay connected with us. I will also put some links in the chat once I'm done presenting, but all of our social media handles, our admissions page, our financial aid page. I definitely recommend taking a look at our financial aid page because we also have tools to search for scholarships, not just within USD. So even if you decide to go somewhere else or decide to apply elsewhere, that's still a very helpful tool to see what scholarships you might be available or you might be eligible for. And that QR code in the top corner will take you to our mailing list, which again, I will put the link in the chat. But thank you all.
Connor, thanks so much to you and the University of San Diego. Audience, don't forget, you can put those questions in the Q&A. Just list out the name of the college that you're directing your question to, and then list your question so our panelists can answer appropriately. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing to you the University of the Pacific. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Sorry, I had a little moment where my webcam unplugged, and so I had a little frenzy. Apologize for that. My name is Corinne Rao. I'm an admission counselor here at University of the Pacific. Hopefully you can see my screen okay and everything is good to go here. I think it's loading. I'm not totally sure. There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have a quick video to show today, actually, given that we have a little bit of condensed time, but quickly beforehand, I wanted to highlight where University of the Pacific is located. I know we have students from different areas here today, some not near us. So University of the Pacific is a tri-campus university. We have 3 campuses in the state of California, but our main campus is in Stockton, which as you can see is centrally located in California. It's where the majority of our undergraduate majors are located, and it's also where our pharmacy school is located. As you can see, we also have a dental school in San Francisco and a law school in Sacramento as well. So I'm going to hop into the video so we can get started on that.
Some of us learn best in a small college setting, one-on-one conversations with professors, small class and lab sizes, mentoring relationships and friendship built to last a lifetime. Others want the choices provided by a major university, scores of majors and programs leading to unlimited career paths, an endless menu of activities, student clubs, concerts, social events, recreational and big-time college sports. At University of the Pacific, California's private university of choice, our students have the best of both worlds. Students are attracted to Pacific's inclusive and caring culture. Professors know each student by name. Pacific also has the opportunities and choices of a major university. 10 schools and colleges offer more than 100 majors and specialized programs, and almost all of our students learn in internship settings. Students can enroll in accelerated programs on our San Francisco, Sacramento, and Stockton campuses to earn advanced degrees in dentistry, law, and pharmacy. These experiences launch our students onto successful careers in business, healthcare, engineering, computer science, pharmacy, arts and entertainment, education, the law, and more. Pacific is ranked among the top 2% of all U.S. universities for alumni salaries. And it all happens on one of America's most beautiful campuses, conjuring up a classic East Coast university, but with a West Coast vibe. Students take day trips to the world-class city of San Francisco, breathtaking Big Sur, Yosemite National Park, and the ski resorts of Lake Tahoe. all within reach of our picturesque campus, nestled in Northern California. We are the state's first and oldest university. We opened California's first medical school and first conservatory of music. We are California's first university to welcome women. Today, we are one of California's most diverse universities, and we continue to innovate with new opportunities for students. The personalized education of a small college, the choices of a major university, University of the Pacific, the best of both worlds.
All right. I usually don't include videos in my presentations, but when we have a condensed amount of time, I feel like that's a good way to see many different aspects of the campus and the university in general. Here is a quick list of our majors if you want to see what all different academics that we do offer. Of course, as I mentioned, we have traditional majors like computer science, biological sciences, psychology, education, but we also do offer quite a few different accelerated options as well for different majors like pre-dentistry, pre-pharmacy, quite a few programs where you can complete your bachelor's degree in 3 years rather than 4. So there is definitely a lot of variety. Every single major that you see here, if it's not required as a part of the curriculum, there's always going to be an opportunity to intern as early as your freshman year if you're really eager and you'd like to do that. Average class size at Pacific is just about 23 students, 13-to-1 faculty ratio, and our undergrad population that we serve is about 3,600 students. So we definitely do have a small school vibe, but we definitely have many larger school aspects as well, being that we are a D1 school. And we are located in a pretty large city in the state of California, which is Stockton. And it's also actually ranks the most diverse city in the entire nation as well. If you are interested in applying to Pacific, our application is currently open on the Common App, www.commonapp.org. If you are a pre-dent or pre-pharm major specifically, please put the heavy asterisk next to this because the only deadline to apply for those specific majors is November 15th. So keep that in mind. But for every other major other than pre-dent or pre-pharm, November 15th is going to be our early action deadline. That's non-binding. You don't have to come to Pacific if you do apply by then. But if you do, you will hear back from us with your admission decision by January. And you'll also receive your academic merit-based scholarship from us as well at that time, which currently ranges from $12,000 to $25,000 per year. If you're not ready by November 15th and you're not a pre-dent or pre-pharm major, January 15th is our regular admission deadline. If you apply by then, you will hear back from us by March or April. We are test optional, SAT, ACT, no worries, don't have anxiety about it. It will not affect your admission decision or your scholarship total. I'll be sure to put my contact information in the chat box, so if you want to connect to me personally, feel free to. And thank you so much for having me today. Sorry about my quick technical difficulty.
We all understand those, no worries. Thanks so much, Corinne, to you and the University of the Pacific. Next up, I have the pleasure to introduce to you William Jessup University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna share my screen really quick. Everybody can see?
Sure can.
Perfect. So how you guys doing? I'm Rob Caesar. I'm actually one of the admissions counselors for the traditional undergraduate programs here at William Jessup. I'm gonna get right into it. I was just in another fair and we got 10 minutes. So let's see if I can condense this down. I always like to start off with one of our pictures from our campus. It's one of the most beautiful pictures I think that has been taken at our campus. And this is pretty much in the heart of our campus. So I want you guys to kind of see how it's gonna look if you were to be a student on campus around that time. I also like to start with a fun fact or a campus fact. So 99% of our students receive financial aid. This is very unique to us because we offer a wide variety of scholarships and grants that aren't necessarily strictly through the federal student aid. So FAFSA, something that you guys will be applying to in the next couple months, actually in October. See, another thing is I want you guys to all think about these 3 questions. not just for my campus, but just for college in general. So what are you most excited about coming to college? What do you hope your college experience will give you? And then what are you least excited about? I love those three questions because once you find the answers to those questions, we feel like it'll guide you in a more successful pathway. All right, so anything but ordinary is one of our mottos that we go by at William Jessup. We're trying to build transformative leaders through Christ. So we are a Christian based higher education university. And affordability, community, and opportunity are three of our kind of like pillars that we go by. I'll explain it a little bit more throughout the presentation. So like I said before, 99% of our students receive financial aid. That's through our different type of scholarships that we offer. In the next slides, I'll show you some of the scholarships that kind of like separate us from some of the other schools. Our students graduate with 30% less debt than the national average of college graduates. That is amazing. When I graduated, I wasn't in that 30%. I'm pretty sure I have more debt than the national average. And we're ranked number 2 best value in California by US News and World Report rankings of regional colleges in the West. So this is our kind of roadmap to apply. Of course, you got to fill out the application. It's online. You can do the personal statement. It's optional. Of course, we would love you to do it because we want to see your insight on the questions that we actually asked. Then it's your high school transcripts. You can send it in a few ways, electronically, or you can send it straight to us. We are not accepting ACT or SAT scores this year, just as we did in the previous year for 2021 school year. And then the next slide, so this kind of talks about the scholarship offers that kind of differ from some of the more traditional like public schools. So if you can see at the bottom, we offer like a diversity grant, a minister worker grant. If you work in the ministry or somebody in your family does, we offer grants for that. You come from out of state, you can get a grant. If you are part of one of our church partners, you can get a grant. And I didn't mention that we're actually located in Rocklin, California, which is like very close to Sacramento, about 30-40 minutes away. So community. So being that we're a small school, we've got a little bit over 1,500 students. Our student to faculty ratio is 12-1. In one of my first classes in college, I had over 300 students in the class, and I can't remember my professor's name to this day. That won't happen here at Jessup. You get mentored through the faculty, and it's actually built into the majors. So you'll be able to go and eat lunch with your professor. Your professor will know your family. You'll know your professor's family. And that part of the community is kind of also what separates Jessup and makes us a little bit more unique. Opportunities. So there's internships included in each major. Of course, I advise all students to take an internship in the major that they choose or are wishing to go into. I say that because it's not going to feel good reading books for like 4 months and realizing once you actually get in the workforce and doing what you want to do, it may not be what you want to do. So this is big for us. 95% of our graduates have either gone on to graduate school or they've been employed within 6 months of graduation, which is huge. It took me about a year and a half to get my first like full-time job where I was like, okay, I'm a college graduate. And like I said before, mentorship with faculty, it gives you access to students for internships and networking. So you're going to be working with professors that also work in the business world and things like that, tied to your major. And because of the close-knit relationship, because of the small class size, you guys will be able to foster those relationships and then hopefully obtain employment once you graduate. So we have 6 colleges that house our 20 majors and 20 minors. They're listed here: applied and natural sciences, theology and Christian leadership, education, business, humanities and sociology, and then visual and performing arts. And then there's also ways to get involved other than academics. So we got athletics, NIA division. We also have arts, theater productions, and student leadership. So my time is getting cut short. So let's follow us on social media. Take a screenshot of this really quick. I'm going to go and give you my information. You actually can scan that too for an information card. Boom. And that's my information. You take a picture really quick. I'll be your admissions counselor once you apply if you choose to. And thank you.
Rob, thank you so much to you and William Jessup University. That 6 minutes goes by super quick, doesn't it?
Yes.
Audience, don't forget, you can put those questions in the Q&A at the bottom. Just make sure you note the college or university that you're directing your question to. We hope that you're having fun so far. I know you've heard from some great schools, but we still have some great ones left. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing to you St. Mary's College of California. Kirsten, take it away whenever you're ready.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And since I'm on a dual monitor setup, I hope you're all able to see everything. Okay, perfect. Yay. Looks like we're cooking with gas here, and hopefully this will decide that it likes me. And I also have a timer. Oh, this is not, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I also have a timer on just to ensure that I do not eat into anyone else's time. So very quickly, I am from St. Mary's College of California. My name's Kirsten Colte. I'm also a double alum of St. Mary's, so I like it a lot. And I work here as full-time staff. So very quickly, you may or may not have heard of our university before. We are located in a very small town in the Bay Area called Moraga, California. If you were to drive to Oakland from our campus, factoring in traffic, it's about 25 minutes. If you factor in traffic for San Francisco, it's about 45. So we are quite close to a lot of major cities. Our undergraduate population is about 2,700 students currently. When you factor in graduate students, we only have about 3,500 students total. So we're quite small. We are also a very small liberal arts university. And very often, I'll mostly hear from parents, oh, liberal arts? Oh, do you guys not have STEM? No, we do have STEM and math programs, I do promise. We are also a private Catholic LaSallian school, which means that we are very social justice and education heavy when it comes to both our curriculum, but also our school spirit as well. We are a D1 school, which is great if you're interested in being a D1 athlete. We also have D1 and D3, or sorry, D2 and D3 if you are interested in intramural or club as well. Perfect. Very quickly. Ooh, computer was very mad at me for a second. I thought these stats might be interesting to go over. It's actually now about 58% of our student body identify as either multiracial, biracial, or a student of color. And if you are part of this next statistic, I am too. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And so is about 31% of our student body population as well. If you are a student watching this or a parent of a student watching this, and you qualify for what is known as the Federal TRIO Grant Program, your student or you yourself qualify as well for additional aid, additional academic support, and additional employment opportunities as well. And a little over half of our student body population identifies non-Catholic. And what you can't see from this statistic is actually the next leading group is atheist students. So very often I'll mostly get questions from students who say, very similarly to what Connor of USD said earlier, I'm not Catholic, can I apply? Yes, of course you can, yes. Our average class size is about 19 students per class. When I was a student here, the biggest class I was ever in had 24 students, and the smallest had 5. So as you can tell, they're quite small, but they ran the gamut from pretty small to extremely small. And for every 10 students we have on our campus, we have 1 full-time professor. We also do not have TAs at St. Mary's. Very quickly, this is a brief snapshot of about 40-ish majors we offer at our school. If you'd like to take a screenshot of this, please feel free. But just know that this information is also on our website. If for whatever reason you cannot find your major, please know that you can actually petition your own major as well. Very quickly, one thing that makes St. Mary's very interesting and was probably one of my favorite parts as a student, is something called January term. What that means is for the whole month of January, you take one course. This can be a travel course, it can be an academic course, but the whole point is that you're taking something outside of your major. So for example, in the past, we've had classes like Hogwarts, a history, the history of Harry Potter. We also have barbarians, Star Wars and theology. We have a fencing course. We have a cooking course. These are all designed to be one part, obviously very fun, but also academically rigorous as well, and combining those extracurricular passions with academic rigor. And obviously, one of my favorite parts about being a student here was January term. Very quickly, I thought this information may be important to go over, but I will try to skedaddle as quickly as humanly possible. Very quickly, the sticker price for St. Mary's College for 1 year is about $67,572. What that doesn't show you is that the average financial aid package is usually about $38,000, and that does not include the merit-based scholarships. Our merit-based scholarships run the gamut from $13,000 to $30,000. This is awarded to you at the time of admission. You do not have to fill out a separate application to apply. And if you attend a LaSallian High School, you qualify for $13,000 of additional aid. Very quickly, I see that I have about 19 seconds left, so I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. And I just wanted to say thank you all for having me. I wanted to leave some room for the other folks.
Kirsten, thank you so much to you and St. Mary's College of California. We are next up. I have the privilege of introducing to you Mount St. Mary's University. Take it away, Brenda, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So as Courtney mentioned, my name is Brenda. I am the admission counselor here, or an admission counselor here at Mount St. Mary's University, Los Angeles. So we are located in Los Angeles, and we actually have two campuses. We have our Shillong campus, which is located up in the Santa Monica Mountains in the Brentwood area, has a beautiful view of all of Santa Monica and the beach, and that is about, as I mentioned, close to the beach, is about 7 miles away from Santa Monica Beach and about 15 miles away from LAX. And then our second campus, our Doheny campus, is about 4 miles away from downtown LA. So that's really like in the heart of downtown LA, like the hustle and bustle of LA, really close to LA Live and the Staples Center. And although we are two campuses, we are one university and we have the same mission. So Mount St. Mary's is a women's private Catholic liberal arts institution. I know that's kind of a mouthful. We are primarily a women's institution, except for our nursing program. Our nursing program, we do accept, and we do have a few good men in our nursing program. As I mentioned, private Catholic liberal arts. And although we are a Catholic university, we do accept students from no religious backgrounds or from any religious background, really. We have about under 1,400 undergraduate students, and that is across both of our campuses. And just as several of my colleagues have mentioned today about, small class sizes, we too have small class sizes here at the Mount. Our average class size is about 15, which makes our student to faculty ratio about 10:1. So professors really get to know you. You really get to establish that relationship with your professors inside and outside of the classroom as well. So here are a few of our majors that we offer at the Mount. Highlighted are our most popular majors. Nursing by far is our most popular major. And fun fact, we were the first Bachelor's of Science nursing program in California. But followed by nursing, we also are very popular in psychology, sociology, the biological sciences, and business as well. But these are a few of the majors that we offer here at the Mount. So some of the university resources that I want to point out are our Academic Advisement Center, our support center. So if you need additional support with your classes, we have that available as well. Our Center for Equity, Diversity, and Justice, our disability services, career and professional development, like if you need help with a resume or you have an interview coming up, we have resources for that available as well. We have our iState program, which is our resource for our first generation students. So if you are the first to go to college in your family, we have resources for you as well. So it's not just all about academics at the Mount. Of course, we have student life is very important as well. We have over 30 clubs and organizations on campus. Mount St. Mary's was founded by our Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, and their goal was to establish a university where women feel empowered and feel like they can be the leaders that they want to be. So leadership is really important at the Mount. And then we also have some campus traditions, and I'll share my favorite. It's lighting of the circle, which is during the holiday times where we shut down all the lights around the Mount, and we light up our Christmas tree, and we have hot cocoa, and just really allows for students to come together as a community and feel the holiday spirit. So a little bit about both living at the Mount and commuting to the Mount. We do have 5 resident halls on campus. And for commuters, we have shuttles. So if you have classes across both campuses, you can definitely take those shuttles. And we also have shuttles to explore LA. So I did mention we are in 2 different locations in LA, one near the beach, one near the downtown area. So we have shuttles that will take students across LA to just get to explore a little bit more of it. So our application is open now. We are on the Common App. And I'm going to go ahead and put the fee waiver in the chat. That way you don't have to pay that $50 application fee. And then test scores, we are test blind. So we will not be looking at test scores to be considered for admission or for a merit award. Our early action deadline is December 1st, and our priority deadline is January 15th. So I just wanted to quickly say that 98% of our students receive financial aid. Somebody did mention FAFSA does open up October 1st, so be on the lookout for that. All admitted students are considered for merit scholarships. So if you are admitted to the Mount, you are automatically given a merit scholarship. And this last year, $39 million in aid was awarded to students at the Mount. So I'm going to go ahead and put this information in the chat as well. We do have in-person tours as well as virtual tours, and I'll go ahead and put some of our resources that we have, both events coming up, in the chat as well. And thank you so much.
Brenda, thanks so much to you and Mount St. Mary's University. Our final presentation tonight will be from the University of San Francisco. Take it away, Justin, whenever you're ready.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Amazing colleges here, and this is an amazing fair. I will go ahead and start sharing my screen. 1 second here. Awesome, there we go. All right, so a little snapshot of USF right here. Going to go through the list and then we'll go from there. So we have a little less than 6,000 undergraduate students, give or take, depending on the year. So we have really small class sizes. That will go to the last bullet point. Our small classroom experience when it comes to our student to faculty ratio, it's about 13 to 1. And so I'm also an alumni of USF. I graduated in 2019. I can definitely answer any questions with regards to that. But the smallest classroom experience I've had at USF was a class of 7. The biggest class we'd ever possibly have would be a class of maybe 45-ish, which is still, relatively small compared to a lot of other big universities and stuff like that. Which would also, in regards to our size, goes into the fact that you're able to build community with your peers, and not just your peers, but also with your professor. It's always the best having a professor that, A, knows your name, B, knows what you're interested in, and, also can recommend you and write you a letter to rec and, toss you to different types of opportunities that would be best suited for you in your career. We are also a private Jesuit Catholic university. And just the same with my other colleagues mentioning, when it comes to our religious affiliation, we would love for you to get involved in your faith journey, whatever faith journey that might be. We have 120 different world religions represented through our undergraduate student body. But at the end of the day, if you being religious is not within your purview as a student, you do you, we do us, and we keep it pushing. No one's gonna be, chasing you down the courtyard with a Bible in their hand. That's not the way we operate here at USF. And we are also on a 55-acre campus in the geographical center of the city, which gives you a lot of easy access to really explore, have fun, and see what the city has to offer. As paid for through tuition and fees is a UniPass, which is the public transit system that we use here in the county of San Francisco. And then also, we've recently been ranked first for the most diverse college campus in America, racially and ethnically. So when you're on our campus, you're quite literally meeting people from all over the world. And it doesn't just stop on the student side, it also extends to the faculty and staff side as well. And we've seen that added diversity and just inclusive community in our campus really does elevate not just the social experience that our students have, but also the academic experience that's being had as well. Now moving down to some nitty-gritty things. So we can only find our application on the Common App. Nowhere else as a high school senior. And we also are a test optional university. We went test optional back in 2019, and that is here to stay forever and always. And two new things that we implemented last year during the pandemic, but we are keeping for this next admission cycle, is you are not required to submit any letters of recommendation, nor are you required to submit any official transcripts. Now, same thing with your test scores and your letter of rec. If you have them at the ready, go ahead and submit them with your application. Your app look that much better, but at the end of the day, it is not the biggest detriment to your application if you do not submit. And when it comes to submitting any unofficial transcript, like I said, totally fine for admission purposes, but we will require an official transcript should you be admitted to the university. And then just some deadlines. Our EAED deadline is November 1st, and our regular decision deadline is January 15th, falling in line with the majority of other colleges across this nation. And to add to that as well too, as I know I'm coming close on time, a little bit about financial aid. We are in a very expensive state in a very expensive city. So right now, tuition and fees slated for the next academic year is upwards of $50,000. Once you add in a room and board and other miscellaneous fees, your total cost of attendance per year at USF would be upwards of $70,000 per year. But we have about 90% of our undergraduate students on some type of financial aid from the university. And on top of that, we do offer need-based financial aid. So we're taking into account your FAFSA information. FAFSA opens up October 1st. List every single school you're interested in on October 1st and fill that out. As you know, the faster you have your FAFSA information, the more accurate we're able to create your financial aid package. Also too, when it comes to merit-based scholarship and grants, I'm not financial aid, so I can't tell you what GPA or what test score if you do submit them. You need to get what merit scholarship. But if you think of it like this, the higher your grades or your GPA, and the higher test scores, if you submit them, the more money you're able to get from the institution. And we also are a California Dream Act institution and a Pell Grant eligible institution as well. So that's a little bit about USF. And one really quick thing before I turn it over to questions and stuff like that. We have a new dorm currently, online and ready for students to move in. We are guaranteeing your freshman and your sophomore year on our campus with the addition of this new residence hall. Now, unfortunately, housing is not guaranteed past your sophomore year, but it is still available. It's more so a housing lottery, if you will. You simply submit an application and hope to get a spot. We have an amazing off-campus housing department that does great work helping you get a gauge of your financial situation to see what part of the city is best for you to live at. Helping you try and figure out navigating, talking to realtors and landlords across the city. And if you're interested too, helping you pair you up with another USF student who's ready to make that leap off campus. So we're not just throwing you into the fire, we're holding your hand every step of the way. I'm possibly at 6 minutes or if not over. So I definitely want to turn it back to Courtney and we can get some questions situated for this lovely crowd.
Justin, thanks so much to you and the University of San Francisco. I'd now like to invite all of our panelists to turn back on their cameras and invite you to impart some wisdom on the students and families that are listening tonight. So first up, we'll answer this in a round robin format, so in the same order that you presented. What is one thing that you want students and families to remember about your school? So we'll start with Connor first.
Thank you. And that's a great question because I'd like you to remember that we are what's called a change maker campus. We are looking for students who are going to be change makers. So you're going to get a great education here at USD, but we're also looking for students that are going to take that education in a way that's going to make the community a better place. So if there's one thing that I would want you to take away from my presentation, it's that. And if that's the type of student you are, please take a closer look at USD.
And for me, I definitely always like to say at every college campus, you're going to take classes, pass the classes, receive the degree, right? That's always going to be seen. But at Pacific, we really try and promote students to take advantage of all these different opportunities that we have so that they're really being able to build upon their resume, diversify their experience, which translates then when they go on and apply for jobs and of course, interview for those positions. So there's so much more you can do, professional organizations, studying abroad, interning, field work, the list goes on. You know, if you're interested in a smaller type of setting in a school, keep this in mind because there's a lot of opportunity.
From the St. Mary's College of California aspect, I would say one thing that I would want students and their families to take away from this presentation is that we're a very open and loving and enthusiastic environment. And if you are a student who thrives socially in smaller circles, but with people who are very ingrained in your success, we might be a very good fit for you.
And if I could say one thing to take away from Mount St. Mary's University is just that I mentioned earlier, something I mentioned was that, you know, we're about empowering women and making leaders on campus. So Mount St. Mary's is a place where we want to continue to empower our women students and just feel that your voice is being heard on and off campus as well.
I'll go next. So one thing I really want the students to know about William Jessup, a lot of times when students see that, you know, like Christian universities or private Christian universities, they feel like they may not be a fit for the university just because they may not be a Christian. I want all the students to know that we are for every student that wants to be here at Jessup, because our goal is to get you where you want to go with our help. So that's kind of what I would want to say about William Jessup.
That was beautifully said by my colleague, and I think I could steal that just for a quick second and apply that to us as a Jesuit university. Same thing here, like I said in my presentation, you know, it does not matter whether or not you're Jesuit, Catholic, Christian, or whatever have you. We are tasked with providing you a quality education and just giving you the necessary skills, tools, and knowledge to better help your community while getting your education and getting your degree. But to add to that as well, just for USF specifically, we are located in one of the best cities in the world. A lot of opportunities do lie for you as a student within the city of San Francisco and a student within the Bay Area. Honestly, there are a lot of great colleges here in the Bay Area, as someone here right now, you know, so definitely look into your schools, do your research, and really look into, you know, what city or what school would you be most successful at, you know, during the 4 years or more that you're at that institution.
So this is Ask the Expert time, and you can either choose to debunk a myth about the college search process or the college admissions process, or give your best piece of advice. And so we'll go in that same order that you presented in.
That is a great question. And I guess I would sort of combine the two. I think there's one myth that is now becoming less common, but that's that there's one school that is, you know, going to be the perfect fit. The reality is there's probably a dozen schools that you are going to be an amazing fit in. I know all the schools here tonight would be, you know, awesome places that would be very welcoming to you all. So don't just be searching for that one, keep your options open. And then my piece of advice would be, once you narrow it down, keep a list, not just of the schools, but of the deadlines, of the requirements. If you already know the essay prompts, keep those on the list. It just makes it easier once it comes time to actually submit those applications.
I think, okay, so my myth will be that when you go to college, you always are going to graduate with a ton of debt. I think a lot of students assume that, and, you know, fair, especially sometimes when you see sticker prices of universities, right? So with that myth, my advice is to keep in mind that many students do not even pay close to that sticker price. There's so much aid that's offered, usually via the institution, academic merit-based scholarships, additional scholarships via the institution that have specific requirements. Always submit a FAFSA You never know what you might get. And please make sure that you keep those colleges you're applying for on your FAFSA listed. That's important so they can get your information. And then of course, work study, on-campus jobs. There's always going to be so many opportunities, and more than likely financial aid offices are willing to hear you out. So keep this in mind, apply, and oh, one other thing. If you are going to take a loan out, keep in mind student loans are the best ones to take out, and applying for that FAFSA will ensure that you are qualified for them as well. So that was a lot, but thank you.
Well, now I feel bad because I'm going to combine both, both universities that have presented before, to kind of just echo, yes, the list is super important to keep. I recommend like Google Sheets or Excel if you're going to do that, but also just to emphasize the importance of financial aid. Once you've kind of narrowed down your list of you're like, ooh, I would love to go here and here and here. See if you can book a preliminary appointment with a financial aid counselor, because I did that with my family. For context, we didn't even know what a FAFSA was. So that kind of gives you perspective on like how little my family and I knew what college was, like just in general. And so having that appointment with financial aid folks is so helpful. And one thing you'll all encounter, I'm sure, is people in higher ed want to help you. We do our jobs because we love students, not because we want to churn out numbers or something archaic like that. So we are human too. We like humans and we want to help humans.
Yes, and kind of to piggyback off that, my piece of advice would be to ask questions, all the questions. We're, as was mentioned, we're here to help, but also like nobody here today was like a mean person. We are all here to like help you, and we are your first point of contact. So whatever questions that you have, if we don't know them, we will direct you to the people that can help you. So I just encourage you all to ask all the questions that you have.
My biggest piece of advice would be to, you guys are actually already doing it, but start early, because that eliminates stress. Your last year of college, your last year of high school is going to go by like this. So the earlier you start, you will ensure that you're not stressed. You'll see some of the students aren't doing their applications till, the winter time. And if you have all your stuff put together, I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better. And go to as many of these that we're doing, these conferences, these fairs as possible, so you can get as much information about the school you may want to go to. So that's my biggest advice.
I want to echo everything that my colleagues have said. This is amazing advice. I wish I had it when I was coming up. I think my biggest piece is this is your process. Not your mom, not your dad, not your brother, not your sister, not your dog, not your cat. This is your process, okay? This is gonna be your college experience, so make it yours. Do all your research like everyone said. Go to all these college fairs, do all the get all the information you need possible to make sure that you are staying successful with whatever you need to do once you start your college career. So just own it and make sure you're doing things for you and not for anyone else.
I told you guys they were great experts, and I would just add, have some fun. This is a really fun time in your life. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As you close out, there'll be a quick 5-question survey. Sign up for more sessions. There's still an hour more tonight. This was recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/WACAC. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.